What makes someone push forward when every voice screams stop? How do ordinary dreamers transform impossible visions into realities that reshape the world? What if the secret to greatness lies not in talent, luck, or fleeting bursts of inspiration, but in a quiet, relentless force called discipline? Picture a world where roads hum with cars, skies buzz with planes, homes glow with electric light, and nations rise from division, all born from failures, unwavering belief, and a commitment to endure when others would quit. This is the story of discipline, the invisible engine behind the triumphs of Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, the Wright brothers, Abraham Lincoln, Beethoven, and Benjamin Franklin. Their lives weave a timeless truth. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and destiny, a power within your reach, waiting to be unleashed. Let's journey through their stories to uncover how discipline can shape your own path, one determined step at a time. Imagine Henry Ford, a farm boy with calloused hands and a vision of a horseless carriage. In an era when horses ruled the streets, his idea wasn't visionary, it was lunacy. Friends mocked him, investors dismissed him, and mechanics shook their heads at his sketches. Yet Ford didn't need their approval. He saw a future where mobility wasn't a luxury for the elite, but a reality for all. He built prototypes that broke, engines that sputtered, and designs that collapsed. Each failure was a blow. Each night spent alone with his tools, a test of his resolve. But Ford chose to continue, not because he felt inspired every dawn, but because discipline was his anchor when doubt screamed loudest. His Model T, introduced in 1908, didn't just change transportation, it revolutionized industries, reshaped cities, and gave millions freedom to move. Ford's success wasn't born from clarity or certainty. It came from commitment, from choosing to act when everything urged him to stop. His story whispers a truth. Discipline isn't what you do when you feel like it. It's what you do when you don't. This same relentless spirit burned in Thomas Edison, a man who didn't invent the light bulb but forced it into existence. Before his incandescent bulb lit homes in the 1880s, he faced over 1,000 failed experiments. Imagine the weight of that. Filaments burning out, vacuums failing, hours evaporating into darkness. The press ridiculed him. Colleagues doubted him. Yet Edison saw each misstep as a lesson, not a defeat. "I haven't failed," he famously said. "I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That wasn't blind optimism. It was disciplined thought, a refusal to let failure define him. Each setback refined his approach. Each late night in his Menlo Park lab sharpened his vision. Edison's discipline wasn't just in his tireless work, but in how he framed his struggles as necessary steps, not shameful stumbles. His light bulb didn't just illuminate rooms, it transformed how humanity lives, works, and dreams. Ford and Edison didn't succeed because they were smarter or luckier. They outlasted doubt through unwavering discipline, turning skepticism into progress. Discipline, far from being a cage, is a key to liberation. It's the structure that tames chaos, giving your days purpose and your actions meaning. Consider the Wright brothers, who dared to dream of flight when the idea seemed absurd. In the early 1900s, the notion of humans soaring like birds was a fantasy. Yet Orville and Wilbur Wright pursued it with meticulous focus. They didn't rely on genius alone. They set clear goals, studied aerodynamics, and built gliders that crashed more often than they flew. Each failure was a data point, each adjustment a disciplined step forward. They woke early, tested in windy fields, and refined their designs, undeterred by skepticism or setbacks. Their first powered flight at Kitty Hawk in 1903, 12 seconds in the air, wasn't a miracle but the culmination of thousands of small, intentional choices. Their discipline turned a dream of the skies into a reality that shrank the world. Their story shows that even the most audacious ambitions are achievable when you break them into consistent, focused efforts. This ability to endure through adversity echoes in Abraham Lincoln's life, a man whose path was paved with loss. Failed businesses, lost elections, personal tragedies. Lincoln's story could have been one of defeat. In the 1830s and 1840s, he faced rejection after rejection, yet he viewed each setback as a lesson, not a verdict. When he lost his bid for the U.S. Senate in 1858, he didn't retreat. He pressed on, refining his ideas and sharpening his resolve. His discipline was in his resilience, in his choice to see difficulties as stepping stones to growth. By 1860, that persistence led him to the presidency, where his leadership held a fractured nation together. Lincoln's legacy, as the man who abolished slavery and preserved the Union, wasn't built on flawless success, but on disciplined endurance. His life reminds us that failure isn't a stop sign. It's a mirror asking if you're willing to keep going. At the heart of discipline lies belief, a force that anchors your efforts. Edison's conviction in his purpose drove him through countless failures, his vision of a lit world burning brighter than any doubt. Belief isn't a warm feeling that comes and goes. It's a choice, a daily commitment to your goal. Picture yourself waking each morning, reminding yourself why your dream matters, whispering affirmations that drown out fear. This disciplined mindset transforms obstacles into temporary hurdles. For Ludwig van Beethoven, belief and passion were inseparable from his discipline. In the early 1800s, as deafness stole his hearing, he could have surrendered to despair. Instead, he poured his soul into music, composing masterpieces like the Ninth Symphony by feeling the vibrations of his piano. His discipline, daily composition, relentless refinement, wasn't a chore, but a joy, fueled by a love for his craft that made effort feel like breathing. When passion and discipline intertwine, work becomes a dance, and consistency feels like freedom. Beethoven's symphonies didn't just survive him, they reshaped music forever, proving that discipline paired with purpose creates legacies that echo through time. This pursuit of growth through discipline shines in Benjamin Franklin's life, a man who turned curiosity into mastery. In the 1700s, Franklin wasn't content to rest on his talents as a printer or writer. He carved out time each day for reading, writing, and reflection, building a mind that shaped a nation. His famous daily schedule, detailed in his autobiography, balanced work, study, and rest, yet left room for adaptation. When he founded the first public lending library or invented the lightning rod, he wasn't chasing fame. He was chasing knowledge, disciplined in his quest to improve himself and the world. Franklin's life shows that discipline isn't just about action, it's about intention, about choosing to grow, even when no one is watching. His wisdom, from Poor Richard's Almanac to his role in drafting the U.S. Constitution, wasn't a gift. It was earned through daily, deliberate effort. Discipline also demands adaptability, the ability to pivot without losing sight of your goal. Ford didn't cling to failing designs. He reworked them, scaling his vision into the assembly line that revolutionized manufacturing. The Wright brothers adjusted their gliders with each crash, learning from the wind's resistance. This flexibility isn't weakness, it's disciplined strength, a strategic response to a changing world. In our era of instant gratification, where social media flaunts overnight success, discipline is rebellion. It's the refusal to be swayed by distractions or comparison. It's the choice to act when others procrastinate, to build momentum with every small step. Think of J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter in coffee shops, facing rejection after rejection. Her discipline, writing daily, revising tirelessly, turned a story scribbled on napkins into a global phenomenon. Her success, like Ford's or Edison's, wasn't instant. It was forged through years of quiet, consistent effort. Discipline is also about living with purpose, about making choices that align with your vision. Consider Marie Curie, who in the late 1800s and early 1900s dedicated herself to science despite societal barriers. Her disciplined research, endless hours in a makeshift lab, led to the discovery of radium and 2 Nobel Prizes. She didn't chase awards. She chased truth, her purpose unwavering even as radiation took its toll on her health. Her legacy reminds us that discipline isn't just about achieving goals. It's about living in alignment with what matters most. Every disciplined choice, waking early, skipping distractions, honoring promises to yourself, builds a life of meaning. Ford's cars, Edison's light, the Wright brothers' flight, Lincoln's leadership, Beethoven's symphonies, Franklin's wisdom, Curie's discoveries, these weren't accidents. They were the fruit of lives lived with intention, each step a testament to the power of endurance. In today's world, discipline feels like a radical act. We're bombarded with quick fixes, viral fame, and the illusion that success comes easily. But history wasn't built by flashes. It was built by fires that burned through storms. Discipline is your rebellion against chaos, your refusal to let doubt or distraction dictate your path. It's the choice to start small, set a goal, build a habit, take one step today. It's the courage to keep going when no one applauds, to see failure as feedback, to adapt without losing your way. Imagine yourself a year from now looking back at the progress you've made, not because you were perfect, but because you were relentless. What could you achieve if you chose discipline over excuses? What dreams could you bring to life if you refused to quit? The stories of Ford, Edison, the Wright brothers, Lincoln, Beethoven, Franklin, and others aren't just history, they're a challenge. They ask you to decide your purpose, to anchor it with belief, to fuel it with passion, and to build it with discipline. Start where you are, with what you have. Write that page, take that class, make that call. Let each small act compound, each choice carve your path. Discipline isn't about being the fastest or the smartest. It's about being the one who endures. The world isn't changed by those who wait for inspiration. It's changed by those who show up day after day and choose to keep going. So, what's your next step? What legacy will you build? One disciplined choice at a time.